Hello friends, and thank you for joining me this evening on another version of Nala Namaste, where you must live and learn so you don't get burned. We are continuing our series on our topic, Why is Straight the Default? This is part 3, and I'm joined today by my friend Steven. Thank you for being here.
Hi.
Steven.
You're welcome.
Do you think people are born gay? And why? Why do you think they are, if you do?
I think that's actually a hard question for me to answer.
Okay.
Do I think that I was born gay? Sometimes I say no. But then I always feel that everyone has always been given a path.
Correct.
So, for me, I dated girls when I was in high school. Didn't even experience anything that had to do with bisexuality or homosexuality until I was in college.
Okay.
And then that's when I started experimenting in it. I don't ever recall having any kind of, cues or things that happened during my adolescent childhood
Okay.
that would have made anyone think that, oh, he's going to be gay when he grows up. So that's kind of like why I'm very kind of neutral,
Okay.
on that topic.
So when you were in elementary or you were in middle school or high school, it was just straight girls. You never had any sort of...
Nope. Played sports, took showers with guys. Not once ever even thought about taking a glance at them or anything like that.
Okay.
But then again, maybe that was my chosen path.
Okay.
And it wasn't supposed to be until later on in life when,
Okay.
I kind of discovered it.
Okay. So you've never lived your life as a bisexual person? You just started off with females and then ended with males?
Well, when I went to college is when I first started experimenting with guys.
Okay.
And
What
then
was it
I
that
kinda
made
liked
you...
both.
Just curiosity? What made you say, okay, I want to try and see what this thing is with the guy?
Just curiosity.
Okay.
Curiosity.
So there was a period of time where you dated both?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Because I'm totally okay with sexual preference, whatever that may be, but I feel like bisexual people are just kind of greedy.
Well,
I just feel like they should pick one.
I really didn't call it bisexuality at the time. I always considered myself being open-minded.
Okay.
So,
I like that.
Being open-minded, it was just like it didn't matter whether you were with a male or a female, as
Okay.
long as you found someone who loved you and treated you the way that you want to be treated.
I agree with that.
And then you gave that back to them. So that's why
Okay.
I guess it was.
But what was
between
it that
guys
made
and
you
girls.
say, okay, I'm done with females? Was there anything that made you pick?
Oh, a lot of things. Nothing.
You don't
against-
have to list them all.
Nothing against women.
Okay.
But I'm very high maintenance. I can't not be with another high maintenance person.
Okay, I like that you own that.
I like just how it feels being with another guy because I'm a guy, so
Okay.
I like to be rough at times. I like to go out and do guy things,
Okay.
and being with a woman, sometimes you really can't do those types of things.
That's understandable.
So, and there could be more deep down inside psychologically, but
Okay.
I don't know.
Did it ever, in your younger years, did you ever say, okay, maybe one day I want children?
Yeah, I had always told myself that I wanted to have kids up until I was 30, and if I
Okay.
didn't have them after I was 30, if I didn't have them before I was 30, then I wasn't going to have them.
Okay. So let's jump right into the whole homophobic conversation. What is your message to the homophobic people?
Be secure about who you are. I feel that people who are homophobic are just very insecure with themselves.
I agree.
And they probably are very insecure about their sexuality because at the end of the day, I don't go out trying to pick out who a straight individual is.
Right.
And there's no way that I can turn a straight person gay.
Right.
You are who you are. You
Mm-hmm.
like what you like. And if you're confident in yourself and if you
Confident
are
in
secure,
your sexuality, right.
with who you are as an individual, then it shouldn't really matter.
Okay, good answer. And what about our religious people out there? Our so-called biblical people?
One thing. God's the
Nice
only,
and quick.
God is the only person who can judge. So, you know, I always just have to say, worry about yourself, worry about your own family, and do not worry about what everybody else is doing. I hate it when people bring religion into a lot of things in this country, because like I said, at the end of the day, we are who we are. We're all human beings. We're all God's children,
right.
and He is the only person who can judge anybody.
Okay, so let's talk about your parents. How did you tell them, and did both of them accept it?
Both of them did accept it. I told my mother first.
Okay.
And it was a little bit hard on my part, just for the simple fact that I was on a scholarship in college, and that's when I had first met, I guess, my first boyfriend, and he actually wanted to move out of the state.
Okay.
So then I had to, I guess, build up enough confidence within myself to be able to sit down and talk to my mom and let her know the reason why I was leaving school and giving up my scholarship, and moving to a different state. So, you know, I kind of approached it a little bit harsh, because I kind of set it up in a sense that I asked my mother if she loved me, if she loved me unconditionally, and then I had also said, so no matter what I'm about ready to tell you, you should still love me after whatever comes out of my mouth. And if you don't, then that means that you really didn't love me unconditionally to begin with.
Okay.
So then I told her, and you know, she more or less had said, I already knew.
Wow.
So, you know, a lot of people say mothers already know.
Right.
They have that intuition, and I completely agree with that.
Okay. So how long did you wait before you said, okay, I'm going to tell Dad? Did you tell him right away?
I had to tell my father. My mom didn't want to do it.
And that's fair. That's understandable.
So I waited probably maybe 5 or 6 months,
Wow.
until they
Why so long?
Because I wanted to have him visit me in the state that I moved in, which was here in Florida, kind of like in my surroundings, so he could actually see how happy I was and how successful I guess I could still be, even though I left school and I re-entered school when I came here, just so it would help eliminate any type of judgments, you know, that he may be able to have.
So why were you concerned about judgments? Because, you know, when you make the choice to go into the homosexual lifestyle, you have to be okay with people that are going to judge you and not accept you, because that's just it's kind of part of the deal when you make that choice.
Very true. I guess I just had seen it so many times through people that I had known in college, where they had came out, and then the stories were the parents disowned them, kicked them out of the house.
I've heard plenty of those.
Started judging them. Oh, you're not going to amount to anything because of X, Y, and Z.
Right.
So I kind of like took some substance from those people that I was in, I guess, surrounded by, and kind of like made my own decision that I want to be able to show my father and prove to him that just because this is how I live my lifestyle doesn't mean my education is going to fall to the side. I'm not going to amount to anything in life, that I can still be who I have always been. The only thing that is different than before is now they know who, you know, I prefer to, I guess, be with behind my own closed doors.
Makes sense. And what about siblings? Because some people kind of let their siblings figure it out. They don't tell their siblings. Did you tell your siblings?
Of course.
And how did they accept it?
I have two brothers, and I told them both. And my youngest brother actually fell in love with it. He thought it was great. You know, even when I went back to visit, he was going to Ohio State University for a little bit. He even, when I came to visit him, had thrown a party for me. And made sure that he had some of his gay friends there and all that other stuff. And then when he came to visit me here in Florida, he even went to gay clubs with me as well. So that one was good. My oldest brother, he was a deacon in church, and bringing it back to religion, he was very, very quickly to judge me for my lifestyle, and just more or less told me that I was living in sin and I was going to go to hell. So I kind of like just cutting
So
out.
have you guys been able to patch things up, or are things kind of just still at a standstill?
No, we talk now. I mean, this was, what, 20 years ago?
Okay.
So I would probably say maybe 6 or 7 years ago we
Okay.
started talking again.
That's good.
And I think it's mainly just because of his wife. Because his wife had a brother, who was gay.
Okay.
So I think
That's
she's kind of
interesting,
like
yeah.
worked with him a little bit. We're not as close as like my mom and my dad or
Okay.
my youngest brother, but at least
At
we
least
do.
you're still connected.
Yeah, we still talk.
Okay. So we're going to talk about the youth a little bit because I want you to give them some advice. We have a lot of youth who are scared to come out or who feel like they're abnormal or whatever. So I know that 92% of youth, they actually fear coming out. That's a very large percentage. They fear coming out because they don't feel like they'll be accepted by society. And 73% will come out online, but not in public. So I thought that was interesting. And then we have, I think this is ages 13 to 18. So they're 8 times more likely to commit suicide due to their family and friends not accepting it. They're 6 times more likely to go through depression, and they're 3 times more likely to experience illegal drugs, which puts them at a higher risk for HIV and AIDS by the time they're in their 20s. So those statistics are pretty deep.
It's pretty deep and pretty scary. For anyone, regardless of how old you are, because I know there's people who are in their 30s and 40s who are married and have built a family who are still struggling.
Right.
With, oh my God, how do I come out? Should I come out, or should I stay on the DL?
Right.
At the end of the day, especially the adolescents, find one individual who you completely feel comfortable with, that you know that you can trust. And that should be your avenue to be able to sit down and just to get the things off of your chest.
Right.
Because if you're able to communicate with someone how you're feeling, what you're going through, it's going to make you feel so much better. I wish it could be a parent, but I think we still have a way to go before parents are really accepting, because sometimes they feel like they've done something wrong.
Correct.
And in reality, you've done nothing wrong at all.
Yeah, that was my next
mom
thing.
and
What is
dad,
your message to the parents?
yeah, parents have done nothing wrong at all. You've hopefully raised your kids to the best of your capabilities. And the way I look at it is, if they're not out doing drugs, if they're not out drinking every single weekend, if they're not being a menace to society, then you've done a good job.
Right.
At the end of the day, sexuality does not identify who you are as an individual. It's your characteristic, of how you actually treat people, how you actually carry yourself. And, that's right. That's what you should be proud of as far as a parent.
That's true. That makes sense. It's a very, very good advice. Very good message.
So, as far as the suicide, anyone who's watching this, if you're to that limit, pick up the phone and call. There's a 1-800 hotline number,
Which I'll have in the next segment. I'm so sorry I wasn't able to grab that before we did this.
All right. So there's a number to call. There's always someone to reach out to. God put us all here on earth for a particular reason. And I think everyone has a special purpose here. And you never ever want to end it so short, just because
Of what somebody will
someone
think,
cannot
right?
accept you for who you are.
There's straight people that aren't accepted, so
Yep.
unfortunately that's part of life, something you have to deal with and be okay with.
Love yourself unconditionally. There's nothing wrong with you,
That's right.
and you'll go do great things in life.
That's right. Well, thank you for watching. Please tune in next week for segment 4. It will be the last segment. I'm not going to tell you who's going to be on there. You're going to have to tune in to see who it is. And I thank you for being here.
Thank you
you
for
so
having
much for
me.
your knowledge and wisdom. And I will see you next week. Please subscribe. Please thumbs me up. Please comment. Take the poll if you haven't taken the poll yet. And I will see you same time, same place next week. You got to do the namaste with me. You ready?
I'm ready.
Namaste. I hope you had a fierce day.